Hey there, everyone. This is Fritz Westover with Virtual Viticulture Academy and the Vineyard Underground podcast. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic that's very near and dear to us in 2026 this year. And that is, how does the warm weather or these warm weather snaps, how does it influence our bud death and our vine viability and fruitfulness for the following season? So one thing that we can certainly do when we go through the vineyard is we can look at buds and assess buds in a vineyard. And the time to do this would be after a freeze. And really what you want to do when you're selecting canes is you want to go into the fruiting zone and you want to find a cane that you would use basically for your final pruning. So we can take a section of 4 or 5 buds, we can cut that out. And if you've experienced some cold weather that is colder than the threshold of your varieties that you have in your vineyard can normally handle, so for vinifera varieties, that can be anywhere below 0 or even below 10 degrees, you can take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bud cutting, get about 100 buds from each variety, and even with a very sharp pruning shear, you can basically shave through your buds in a sequential order and check for bud viability. What we're looking for is good, green, round, primary buds. The primary buds are in the center and they're the largest bud. That's the fruitful bud you have. And then you have some secondary buds and tertiary buds on the side. So if we cut through, usually a razor blade is the way to go if you're doing this indoors, we can see we have good viable buds here. So you get a percentage of these buds that are viable. And if you're finding that you have 20 or 30% of the buds that are brown and not viable, like this one here, that's your primary, that's a secondary, then you want to try to find a strategy to allow extra buds while pruning. I'm not going to get into that in this video here, but you could try using bonus canes, allowing additional spurs, or even leaving occasional 3 bud spurs interdispersed with your 2 bud spurs. One thing that I'm worried about this season is that we have very warm weather and it's early January, and that means we're in the 70s and 80s during the day and only down in the 50s during the evening. And if we get that kind of warm weather in late January or early February, and then it moves down to even 15 or 20 degrees Fahrenheit, we can see some bud death and even some cordon dieback. So we really want to hold off on pruning until we get some more cold weather. We can go ahead and do our rough pruning early in January, but we want to avoid doing our late pruning as long as we can, or at least until the temperatures get a little bit colder. We want it to be close to freezing at night and maybe below 55 degrees during the day, ideally.